it to really start bubbling, and it's kind of a dangerous thing. So just remember that while you're doing this whole process. And now what we're going to do is we're going to strain the rest of the herbs out and just use the liquid. Now all you should have left is the rendered fat. That's exactly what you want right there. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cook the actual legs in the fat. I'm only doing 3, so I'll just use a regular saute pan. If you, depending on the amount that you have, you can just do the same procedure and just use a little bit bigger of a container. And you want the meat, if not totally, almost completely submerged in the fat. All right, so now you have your thighs submerged in the fat. And what I'm going to do is put some fresh herbs in with it, just for a little bit more flavor. I always bruise the herbs. It allows the oils to come out just a little bit. So I have some thyme there, just a few peppercorns, and 1 sprig of rosemary. Should add to the flavor. And now, as you can see, in my pan, and this might happen in yours as well, I have a bit of the skin still exposed. And when we put this in the oven, we don't want that exposed skin to cook quicker than the actual meat in the liquid. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a regular piece of parchment paper. We have them pre-cut to be completely square. If you don't have it like this at home, just cut it as best possible. And what you do first is you take 2 opposing corners and fold them in. Should have a shape that looks like that. Do the same thing again, but in the other direction. Fold it. Then you take this tip right here. The way that you measure it to fit the diameter of your pan is you put the very center of your parchment paper in the very center of the pan. After you have that, cut the tip off. This will act as a breather hole. And now the idea is to cut your paper triangle in the same shape as the pan, just right here though. So if you want to make a mark, you can go ahead and start just like that. And then cut in the shape that your pan was. Then when we open this, it should be in a circle. And there it is. Kind of like making snowflakes in kindergarten. Put that over your duck, and what this does is it'll keep the skin of your duck moist with the fat. This will sit right on top of it, and your skin won't burn when it's in the oven. And now you can either do this in the oven, and that would probably take about a half an hour if you do it at about 325, or like I'm doing on the stove top. I only used a couple of pieces here, so I'm using just the saute pan, but if you were to do more, you'd want a deeper pan to keep the oil from possibly bubbling over and making a big mess. So what I do here, just cook it on very low heat, like the lowest flame that you can get, and cook it for around 45 minutes to an hour, I'd say at least. And you can just, if you need to, just check underneath it, lift the parchment a little bit, and see the color of the duck. When it becomes a golden brown color, it should be getting close to being done. And now if you think it's close to being done, take the parchment off and test a piece of the meat. You can do that with either tongs or a fork. Just peel back the parchment a little bit. And what you'll do is just test it like this, and it should flake away. If yours doesn't flake away, like mine isn't doing, it still needs more time on the stove or in the oven. So I'll put the parchment back over it and give it a little bit longer.
This is Israeli couscous with calamari, olives, artichoke hearts, fresh basil, and roasted peppers.
This is spicy mussels. Simple, delicious. It's been cooking for about a half an hour, so I'm just going to make sure that it's ready before I take the parchment off and take it off the stove. All you do is peel back. All you're checking for is the tenderness of the meat, and if it breaks away like that, then you know it's ready. And you can also tell by the color, it's a nice golden brown. If it's a little too light, it's not ready. If it's this color, it's ready. So that's good, I can take it off. Good. Take it off the flame. And there it is, beautifully cooked duck confit. Okay, and so now after this is done, it's pretty much ready to be stored. If you'd like, you could put it aside, cover it in the fat in a container, and it'll stay for a good 2 to 3 months unrefrigerated. If you refrigerate this with the fat above it, the fat will solidify and you can store it like that for at least 4 months. That way, the fat is completely covering the meat, no bacteria can get to it, and you're fine to store it for, like I said, 4 to 5 months, 2 to 3 unrefrigerated. All right, so now we're ready to serve this. And tonight I'm going to be serving it with garlic mashed potatoes, haricots verts, which is French string beans, and fennel. So I'll go ahead and plate the vegetables first. Once again, all it is haricots verts and fennel, a little bit of basil and salt and pepper. Take the duck legs out of the fat. Okay. And I'm going to finish it off with a red wine reduction, and all this is reduced red wine. You reduce it by just over a half. Add a little bit of beef stock on top of that, a little bit of garlic and salt and pepper, and then we strain it. Pretty much all of our sauces are strained. All French sauces are classically strained. So all you get is the reduction with the beef stock. It's kind of a sweet wine flavor. It's a good complement to the duck. Just a little bit of parsley. And there we have the finished product. It's duck confit with a red wine reduction, haricot vert, and garlic mashed potatoes. A Mare lemon tart that I'm caramelizing, similar to a creme brulee. I'm caramelizing it with just regular sugar. And when I caramelize the sugar, when I take this torch to it, when it cools a little bit, it forms a like a crispy caramel coating on top. This is a lemon tort with pomegranate molasses and mascarpone cream.
Monster and he's working hard for donating all the time and food this evening to help out this incredible cause, and what a wonderful meal it was.
Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you very much. I just want to say thank you very much for this, letting us be a part of it, and thank you for letting us cook for you.
Thank you.
Oyster shots. First, take a couple fresh oysters in the half shell. Next, little citrus cilantro mignonette. And finally, vodka. Bon appetit!
Cheers. Good.
One chew and then down the hatch.
Yeah. Just enough to swallow the vodka then.
I didn't chew it, man.